島の決まり手は押し倒し。押し倒して対馬灘の勝ち。東方千代嵐、千葉県木更津市出身九重部屋。西方栃丸、東京都練馬区出身春日野部屋。
Hello, welcome to Sumo Mainichi's live stream of Juryo. We're here.
Hello, welcome.
My name's Amy.
Yeah, I'm Dave. And we just saw Tochimaru win in a very high quality bout. Some incredible, what do you call that? Oshi sumo.
Incredible
Sapari
work on the
sumo, I
doyo.
should say, yeah.
He wants to get back, Tochimaru. He wants to get back to Juryo. He's Makushita 1. He's not happy about it.
Absolutely deserves to be up
He's
there.
a big guy pushing over another big guy, Chiyo Arashi, who also has been up. So the typical spot at the top of Makushita, where everyone is very hungry. And that brings us to Juryo, the best division of sumo, I would say. Is that too big a call?
Well, I don't think so. It's the... there's less glitz and glamour down here.
Yeah, more just getting on with business.
Yeah.
The storylines are great. Everyone's trying real hard. You got the proper mawashi, the strong sagari, and you're earning some money, which is another good
Absolutely.
thing about it.
Good thing to see these guys getting paid.
Not a whipping boy for someone else.
The first two rikishi that we have up on the doyo, we have Taka Kento up against Koryusho.
Koryusho, he has been in Juryo before in January, and he went 6-9. He was going all right, but then he lost the final 5 days and ended up with that 6-9 score. So just one of those situations where you go Makakoshi and you just kind of lose it in the mind. He is 27 years old from Sadogatake stable. And so, yeah, he'd be keen to pull things back, rein things back in a little bit here at Juryo 14.
Well, on the other side of Juryo 14, we have Koryusho from Soragatake Beya. saw a slight drop from him. He's lucky to still be in Juryo. He was at Juryo 13 last time. Hanging on there, trying to make the most of his time there. 19 years old. So much sumo ahead of him. The weather
Oh,
today
yeah.
in Osaka.
Tell me.
Well, it's 21 degrees Celsius.
Yep.
Beautiful day,
That's
which is
nice.
69
Isn't that meant to be-
Fahrenheit.
Well, I was going to say, isn't it meant to be getting warmer? But that is quite a bit warmer than it would have been.
Absolutely. So this
And the
is
humidity.
Oh, look,
I mean,
I actually haven't
you can't.
checked.
I was just waiting for it, waiting
Oh,
for you to say it.
well,
but
the
then you looked
humidity,
away and
60%.
60. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. That's
They
a lot.
are expecting some rain overnight, but don't worry, all the Rikishi will be well and truly in bed by the time that hits at about 2 a.m.
Got to go to bed early during a basho. We just saw a Tami Fuji walk in. Great hype around this guy. But at the moment, it is Koryusho up against Takakento. And they go down. Takakento much lower and he comes in lower. He holds Koryusho up higher and he gets in on the chest area. He pushes forward and forward with his arm around Koryusho and pushes him out. That's a strong win up first from Takakento.
Absolutely. Koryusho looked disappointed in his sumo
He
there.
did. Head up in the air.
Head up in the air.
Day one, show your emotions. Why
Absolutely.
not? Get it out there.
Well, it's a long build-up for these basho, and to put in such a soft performance as he did today, absolutely would be kicking himself as he let Takakento get in it and under the arms. He really couldn't get himself balanced there and was
Gets
taken
a
out
strong position there.
easily.
Isn't it for an Oshi sumo guy, Takakento? He went down low. But, I mean, he started lower. He showed his intentions. He went down on the arm on his legs as he got ready and used that position. And those great sideburns we're seeing right now for good. Oh, my
Well,
goodness.
Well,
Look who it is.
it's your friend, it's my friend, Ryuden. What a treat to see him back in Juryo. Today, fighting against Shimazu Umi.
Yep.
Ryuden. We've seen a very solid rise through the ranks as he comes back off a 3 basho ban. Was it longer than that?
I think it was 3.
3.
Yeah.
Feels like a long time since we've seen him go around, though.
Well, he's had the 3 and then he's taken a while to come back up. So it
Yeah,
it
true,
has been
true.
a long time.
Well, you do feel all eyes are on this Rikishi today. In terms of condition, I think he's looking good. Probably looking about the same body condition as when he left us.
Yeah. I mean, he's always been a bigger guy. He's always had a bit of the, I don't want to say flab, but he's not Ishiura or even a Chiyomaru with the sort of tight belly. He's always been a little bit bigger with some of the skin around there, and he kind of looks the same. How does everyone feel? Hello, everyone in the chat, by the way. Thank you so much for coming and listening to our Juryo live stream. How does everyone feel about Ryuden being back? We've made no bone about being happy about it. So I'm just wondering how everyone else feels.
So as they go down, they face each other. Shimazu Umi, he's at his highest rank of Juryo 13, the 25-year-old from Kagoshima. And Hanaregoma Heya, or Bayer, I should say. Not a Heya that I'm all that familiar with. One of the smaller ones. He has been around quite...
Ichi Yamamoto and Shohozan.
Oh, there you go. Well, I should know more about that one, actually. He's been around for 60 basho, Shimazumi, so quite a long career.
Bit of a go of it, hasn't it?
But great to see him at the age of 26 being up in Juryo. They're ready to go.
Tim, surely no wiggle after a ban. We will see. We will see. Is he going to do it?
He goes down very quickly, very effectively, gets his left hand on the belt, gets the right hand on the belt, and Shimazumi showing some good resistance, but Ryuden's able to finish him off there. Wasn't as clean as I would have expected after landing that very early right hand.
Yeah, Shimazumi really fought back there. He got the squat, large body in the way of Ryuden and tried to anchor himself on the Tawara, tried to push back, tried to wriggle away as well to the side, to his left. But because Ryuden had the right hand on, that was the way that he could easily move as well, and he was able to track his progress around the Tawara and eventually flip him over. So that's a lost first day for Shimazumi and a win for the big man Ryuden.
Shimazumi sporting heavy strapping on both knees. but did show good strength in keeping himself up there. What a great way for Riordan to start back in Juryo. I think we'll see many more victories for him this basho.
I think so too. Corey Morrison, welcome. It is so great to see you. Tim, of course, thank you so much. Thanks everyone else who's in the chat. Hello. Please feel free to say where you are and what you're up to. Neutron Girl, that's me. So I'm typing in my own chat. I just like to, have someone else in there
Get
and
the engagement going.
have some typing ability with that name. But who have we got up next?
We have Hakuyozan up against Atami Fuji. So I'll start with the person that no one's interested in. Hakuyozan, of course, we've seen him up around the higher ranks throughout the last couple of years. Now, back in Juryo, he is Juryo 12. He's 26 years old. Birthday next month, but they say that 26 is where you start to establish your career. I say that.
If
We'll
I
see
had
good
to
things
guess
from
how
him.
old Hakuyozan was, it wouldn't be 26.
No, I'd say he's got the look of a 31-year-old.
Yeah, it's probably 31 actually. You're right. Definitely over 30, I'd say. But look at his face there. It's quite youthful. Atami Fuji, though, he is youthful. He is 19 years old and he has blitzed his way through the lower ranks. This is his 9th basho, if you count car park sumo. Do you?
You do, and you should.
You should.
We need to respect
Well, he went
that.
3-0. He just
Oh.
shove straight
yeah,
through.
Yeah.
Boys fell over and then he was straight into Jonakuchi, won the Yusho straight away. Johnny Dunn won the Yusho and then powered through the rest of it. No Yusho after that. Bit disappointing.
Is it disappointing?
I would love to see him get every single one.
Yep, sure.
So that's terrible. At Isagahama Stable, they'd be lambasting him for that and telling him to watch his own tapes and get a bit better. But no, really, this angel-faced Rikishi has just forced his way powerfully into Juryo, and I think it's pretty safe to say that everyone's excited about seeing how he's going to go. Tim, he's interested in Hakuyozan.
Oh,
Yes,
good on you,
thank you.
Tim. Great. I'm very
Well,
interested
no,
to
I
see.
mean he's won a Yusho. Remember that? And then
Yep.
he got injured straight after, so
Yeah.
that was hard. Siggy, how are you? Oh, it's so good to have all you guys in here. Yay!
Quality people in the chat today.
Yes, Corey just got done doing a huge sumo event in Texas. You guys just
Wow.
running amazing sumo stuff in over in Texas. I wish we could go. We'll take a trip someday, we promise. Here we go. It is Hakuyozan down first. Atami Fuji a little bit slow to come in, perhaps. A little bit hesitant, but he's lower. He's trying to get up under Hakuyozan's arms, but he's over with his left arm. No, he goes under again. He gets the right arm around Hakuyozan's body, and he was just fighting for that position, and once he found it, it was all over.
Yeah, definitely felt like Hakuyozan was on the defensive there. He really shut the door on Atami Fuji early in that bout. But Atami Fuji just kept on knocking, and
Yep.
he found a way in eventually. I thought experience would have prevailed there, but Atami Fuji just showed he was willing to put in the work, find a way through the Hakuyozan defense, and take him over the bales.
He did a good bit of Kisanasato low, both feet powerful, hip thrusting forward. It was a really good Yorikiri when he just made himself so wide and so low that Hakuyozan couldn't really inch his way around his body to do anything there. Casey Mustang, hello. All the good people in today.
So, well, up next, we should talk about this bout. Up next, Enho. What are we going to see from him this time up against Hirodumi?
And their record against each other is Hirodumi is up by 2. They fought twice and Hirodumi's won both times.
I feel like that must have been quite a while ago. 2021.
It was January and November.
Well, they do say that, with the lockdowns of the last few years, it's very hard to judge time. But if I can't remember
Every
January,
day. No. Well, because we didn't do the podcast, January's just
it's a blur.
vanished into a world of great times. Nah. We missed everyone. Hirodumi, though, he had a difficult time coming into Juryo originally, but he has managed to find some kind of form. And those 2 wins over Enho shows that he knows how to beat the little guy.
Speaking of Enho, he's at his lowest rank since September 2018. Juryo 11 for him this time around.
How is his body?
Well,
That's the question this time.
it's always been a question, but he's in a deep hole at the moment. I'm confident he can dig his way out, but I think it's going to be very, very hard work for him this time around. Look, the other thing that's striking me about the Osaka doyo is the richness of the earth inside the rope.
Yeah. A good colour.
Yeah, look, I think it harkens back to the doyos they were putting together probably in 2019.
I love the darker looks so good, doesn't it? When you watch old sumo, I mean, I know it's the different cameras and, you know, broadcasting and everything as well, but it did look darker.
Oh, it's absolutely
Looks
darker.
great in there. Look at that.
It speaks to the moisture content of the clay in there. So with a slightly damper track, it means that smaller rikishi and faster rikishi have an advantage.
It sure does. Plenty of it sure does.
does.
I'm like, what did you just say? I'm not sure. Enho, plenty of Enho banners still.
Yeah.
I think he looks. Does anyone else think he looks a little bit low key and depressed? I mean, I guess he can't come strutting out with all the arrogance and power of someone who's not going that well. But I don't know. His head's down a little bit, perhaps.
Look, I think one of his strengths is his ability to ignore the hype.
Mm-hmm.
The hype surrounds this guy, but he always manages just to as that goddamn saxophone solo comes in, he manages to keep himself above it. So I think all we're seeing here is a calm professional out doing his work.
Oh, you've been asked for a source there. You've been asked for. I'd like you to annotate your stats and your thoughts there. Is there any
I'll do it after this
scientific
one. There
papers
certainly is.
that we can quote?
Certainly. I mean, I haven't published the paper yet, but it's in draft form, which I can put in the chat just after this bout.
You'll give it out to the Patreon
Oh, look, it
group.
makes sense. More moisture, more grip.
More moisture, more grip.
Okay, Enho's starting off the longer run up. Hiradumi, the moment gets to him and he hops forward. It's just, well, we'll talk about it later. They reset very quickly here. I can't give my thesis in 15 seconds, that's for sure. Beautiful close-up of the line there. Enho's going to put his hands down second. Let's pull the camera back, Abema, a little bit. There we go. Enho comes forward fast. But Hiradumi's putting the pressure on, attacking Enho high, forcing him back. Enho slips around to his side, standing in the face of these Hiradumi high attacks, and he's managing to still apply some pressure, gets under the arm, rolls him down. That's a beautiful win from Enho. Great stuff for day one.
Well, look, it was. I was trying to see where that win was going to come from because he was standing up against Hiradumi. They were trading blows. Enho was keeping himself away from Hiradumi and slipping to the side a couple of times, keeping out of the worst of the grip, making sure he wasn't pulled in, sucked into Hiradumi's embrace. So he kept himself at a distance, but still I couldn't quite see how he was going to find that
That's a
grip. And it was a
katasakashi.
katasakashi,
Yeah, beautiful.
He got the grip up around the shoulder. Maybe he's been hanging out a little bit with Midori Fuji, who we did give the Sumo Mainichi Juryo special prize to in January for rediscovering the katasakashi. So maybe he's been proselytizing it. I don't know if I've ever said that word
That's
out
a
loud
brave
before.
word to say into
I
a
took
microphone.
a breath and I just went for it and I
love it.
messed it up.
That's a beautiful thing. And look, it's not something you see Enho do very often. I'd be interested if we went back into the archives for when the last time Enho did that move. And before people go and look it up, I know it was probably November last year.
I was going to put in
know.
a query, but I can't even. Whenever we try to put in a query to Sumo DB, actually we crash the site.
Yeah.
It's been happening over the last few days. As soon as we query something a little bit bigger and try to get stats over all time, site goes down. So we'll save everyone that because no one wants a world without Sumo DB.
All right, well, next up on the doyo, we have Kidnawaka and Churinaumi.
I think I said on our pre-Basho episode that Asanawaka was the straightforward accountant guy who was sort of Takara Fuji light, next in line to Takara Fuji as the businessman, but it's actually Kidnawaka.
Kidnawaka.
I'm not sure where I've got that from. I just feel it from him strongly.
The 21-year-old went 8-7 at Juryo 12 last Basho in January and now finds himself at Juryo 10. Haven't minded his form of late. And on the other side, we have Churanaumi, Okinawa's favourite son.
He
How do you-
dropped to Makushita for one basho in July last year, but he's been pretty solid since that. And by pretty solid, it's sort of around those mid scores, a 9-6, a 7-8, and in January, a 6-9 with a loss on the final day, which always, I think, gives a little bit of that headspace at the end. Are you trying to push your way forward into the next basho, or are you getting a little bit tired? But we've enjoyed his sumo over the couple of years he's been around.
Absolutely. Well, we have the camera on Kidnawaka at the moment. Didn't have a great finish to his January basho. Dropped a lot in that second week, but still managed to eke out that 8th win. Still very new to the sport. He's been doing the sport his whole life, I imagine, but new to professional sumo. I believe this is probably only his maybe 10th basho.
Everyone in the chat suggesting who might have crashed the Sumo DB site. I do think there are a lot of people running it pretty hard. I think for a while too, I saw in one of the Discords, there were some guys data scraping it for like everything that they could find and gathering it and doing all this really high level stuff. So we've really run that database through the ringer, and it's not surprising that every so often it goes down. So Tim uses it a lot. He said
Tim's
maybe it was
a power
him.
user.
Grand Sumo Breakdown. Those guys love stats.
Hey, we were lamenting the fact that a lot of the bouts historically there don't have videos attached, but I'll tell that story after this bout.
Surely. Oh, it's a very loving, slow embrace. Pulled up as a mata in this one. They just sort of both stood up slowly and patted each other on the arms and went, let's have another go at that one. No one's keen to go. So they reset, they stand up, brush off the salt, reset themselves, and Churanaumi is down first. Kidnawaka with one fist down, comes in at a bit of an angle, goes for the front of Churanaumi's mawashi, spins around as Churanaumi tries to fight him off, and in trying to get away from the Kidnawaka hold, he goes down. It seems like he maybe moved himself way too far and overbalanced forward.
Boy, Kidnawaka dug himself out there. He was in a lot of trouble. That Churanaumi opening was very impressive, finding a commanding position on the belt. I think we'll see on this replay. Yeah, beautiful left-hand grip there. And he was able to swing Kidnawaka around. Boy, some great footwork there from Kidnawaka. Churanaumi, not a
Played
lot
himself at the end a little bit.
Not-
I always think that it's the guy who overbalances, but actually it was Kidnawaka, as usual, who pulled him down. Got a smack in the nose for his troubles. A little bit of blood. That's all right. High school Yokozuna, Tim said Kidnawaka, so trying to regain that glory. Could Kidnawaka be the next Yokozuna? Wow, that'd take a while. Who will be the next Yokozuna? I saw Hiro Morita on the... I said that in a really Italian way. Morita. Say on the NHK World preview that Wakataka Kage would. That's understandable because he absolutely loves him. Is Wakataka Kage going to be the next Ozeki and maybe Yokozuna?
That's unbelievable. I can't believe he said
He
that.
loves him. Well, let's stick to Juryo for now. We have Daishoho coming up against one of my favourites, but hasn't been in the best form at the moment. Bushozan made his way all the way up to Juryo 1 and looked like he was set to pop into Makuuchi, but just kind of lost it.
Well, speaking of people who have had a bit of a hard time of it, we have Daishoho on the other side. He's at Juryo 9. This basho was featured in Makuuchi back in 2019 in March and May, but just couldn't get out of that Maegashira 16 position. Well, I lie. He got up to Maegashira 9 before slipping back. It's been tough times for him. Found himself back down in Makushita before fighting his way back to Juryo. I think he has a lot to offer the sport still at 27 years old.
Bushozan, he is someone who has... I won't be turned off Bushozan. I'll just keep talking about him. He's someone who has a lot to offer the sport. When I said that Enho walked out and looked a little bit down in the dumps. I was obviously proved wrong by him winning. But I actually think that Bushozan walked out and looked very confident.
Oh,
today.
okay.
So by that logic, he will now probably lose. What happened to Bushozan in January? He went 2-13.
Yeah.
He won on the final day, but that was kind of a Hail Mary. That was somebody else getting tired. And he won on day 13, 12, 11. But
Well, look, it's
the
one of-
rest of the time just looked terrible.
I wouldn't say that his performance was terrible. It just wasn't terribly effective. Again, from a distance, the form looked good.
from a large distance, like 3 or 4 kilometres, I'd say, when he was a tiny dot and you just weren't sure what had happened. You could barely see the doyo. You were just
If
like,
you-
is there sumo going on over there? Or
Well, that guy looks like he's doing okay.
somebody's cheering.
But you know, you have those runs in life where you feel like you're doing everything right and you're just not getting the points.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, part of finding your way through Juryo is coming back from these bad performances. Let's see how he does today against Daishoho. They've caught the Abema camera person off guard. Bushozan in working hard. Very effective sumo there. Gives a nod of the head to the crowd. I think that one felt good for him. That's the kind of sumo he wants to be doing. Fast and effective. Get back to the rooms. Go home to bed before it rains.
Look, I have no idea what happened at the touch-eye there because the Abema camera people cannot keep up with... I think they need a little lesson in
Well, actually, we should
when
say,
they're going to go.
when you say people, that implies that there's more than one.
Maybe they had a ring in. I mean, I know we went to a restaurant the other night and they said because of COVID, you know, most of their usual staff was off and they had to get some people who were usually in one department to go into the kitchen and do the cooking.
Yep.
So maybe it's the same thing in Abema. You know, someone went down and they were just like, hey, work experience person, can you come and have a go on the old camera? And they're like,
Look.
when do I pull back? And they're like, just feel it.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, no doubt. Maybe we should give this person their dues. They're showing us a side and a closeness and an intimacy
Intimate touch-eye.
in this coverage that we haven't seen before.
That's a special publication, Intimate Touchy-Eye. Tim, Bushozan is matching height and weight, 171 centimetres and
Yeah.
171 kilograms.
I did see that.
You didn't want to say
No,
that?
no,
love
I
that
just thought
stat.
it was a beautiful statistic. It's very hard to maintain, though. You've got to work at that.
Yes.
Some say that's the golden ratio of Rikishi. Be as heavy as you are high.
Yago and Daishomaru. Yago, I mean, sorry, you can talk about Yago, but I have a good feeling about Yago now. I mean, he's sort of recaptured a little bit of the old Yago magic, a little bit of the large man.
You've always
Good
been a
work.
fan. And look, one of the things you cannot deny about Yago is his ability to do serviceable sumo with an absolutely broken lower half of his body. I
There's not a lot
admire that.
Not a lot functioning well there, is it?
No, but I do think that's a skill. That's something he's able to do. He gets out there, he does good sumo, finds a way to win.
Daishomaru, he went 6'9" in January at Juryo 6. So just a little drop for him to Juryo 8. Stayed on the west side. He's got a lovely new silver mawashi. He's taken a little bit of inspo from Kyoku Taisei, who retired and left the silver mawashi up for grabs. Said if anyone wants to take the silver, I'm making this up, but I imagine that might be the way. There's only one man allowed to take the silver at any time. And it's Daishomaru.
Well, interestingly, looking at the stats on the screen at the moment, 30% of Yago's wins last time of the 11 wins came from Hataki Komi, a Kimarite often associated with the dog act.
Yes, yes.
But he's not a henka kind of guy, is he?
No, he's absolutely not.
Not with those knees.
He is not moving sideways. He does not like to move backwards. Daishomaru down
Gee, I
and
didn't.
back.
I didn't mind
Well,
seeing.
I just got confused like the Abema cameraman. I just suddenly looked back to the screen and went, we're on! We were not on. There's a thing in Australian politics where there's going to be a spill of one of the sides of government and people always say suddenly it's on, and then on all social media floods, it's on, it's on. That was the feeling I suddenly had. Little insight into terrible Australian politics there. Enho, 98 kilograms, 98 centimetres. Is that true, Scott? Hello, Scott, by the way. Lovely to have you in the stream.
Well, I wondered if when we were talking about that, whether Sumo DB wouldn't crash with Tim scraping the archives to see if he could find other Rikishi who have the perfect ratio.
We've got a few heights and weights here. Can I see anyone else that's close? I like the other ones that I like are the ones with a massive difference. I mean, that's interesting. Yago's 175 kilograms, by the way. Big fellow. Both of these guys, large. Daishomaru larger than you think sometimes. He goes down. They're both down. Yago back a little bit from Nishikiri-san. He slowly comes in, stumbles to the side as Daishomaru pushes him to his right. Daishomaru comes back at him, but he's unable to push the very large Yago out. And Yago sort of just stumbles around for a bit and Daishomaru steps out. I'm not quite sure what happens there.
That was a bit of a funny old end to that one. Daishomaru's ring sense just escaped him there, and I think he got lost.
I think he might have got a bit of a shove from Yago that took him off balance a little bit, and he stepped back just a bit more than he expected. He was very much on the attack, Daishomaru. Just jumped away from Yago and tried to slap him down. That was his mistake. It left him on the side.
Look, watching that replay, you have to be impressed by Yago's footwork there.
Yep.
Looked so balanced, responded really, really well. And in the end, I mean, did look a little strange on that replay there. Daishomaru stepping out, thought, I'm going to call this is over. I'm out.
Yeah. Day one. Let's not try too hard. It's fine. We'll just leave it. I'll just do a little bit of sumo and then see what I can fix for the other 14 days. Tim, yeah, Sumo DB is terrible for height and weight. That's true. Wasn't there someone who was doing a height and weight chart who was really trying to keep it super updated? I think I saw that in one of the Sumo Discords.
I always thought that Sumo DB's lack of information around height and weight was to do with the fact that they don't weigh them every basho.
Mm-hmm. But they do, don't they?
Do they?
I think so. When they go in for their fitness check and before every basho.
Mm. Well, what I was speaking about before was that we were lamenting the lack of video links on Sumo DB.
Oh, yeah.
So we wrote an email to the person who's running the site going, look, if you can let us do it.
Before we did the podcast.
Before we did the podcast.
Before we were putting into the community.
We will help you out and we'll put video links up to bouts and we'll just work and do it little by little, but we'll get there eventually. I don't think we ever heard back, but about a month later on Sumo DB, there was now an optional link to add video links to each bout.
Yep.
So in total, how many video links have we added?
Look, we've added none.
None.
But what I'd like to do now is crowdsource people to add them. You can add them yourself. I think one of the problems is the coverage now. It's a little bit harder to have videos up and to
absolutely
keep them up for any length of time. I mean,
yeah.
In the past there wasn't so much oversight, perhaps. Who do we have? Here we have Mitoryu up against Tokushoryu. Tokushoryu's down at Juryo 7 West. Does anyone like to see him there? I don't.
I like to see him still involved in the game, the sport.
Yep.
Still making money down here.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
He's a Nara boy, so Nara, Japan. That's where I lived when I was there for most of my time. It was a very powerful thing seeing him pick up that Yusho a couple of years back in that January tournament. And seeing that amazing footage of his parents in a building I recognised. So I've always felt very close to Tokushoryu. Mm-hmm. Don't mind seeing him down here at all.
This is his third basho now in Juryo after making a 2-basho return to Makuuchi in July and September of last year. So he is hovering around that area, but I'm not sure whether he'll ever get back there for good. He's 35 years old. That's okay.
Young. In Tamawashi years.
In Tamawashi years, that's right. Tamawashi now the oldest man in Makuuchi, but he's right up the top.
Looks like they're ready to go. Tokushoryu taking his time as he likes to do. Hates putting his hands down first, Tokushoryu. And you can tell they both go, no hands down, absolutely not. Why would you? Mitoryu grabs Tokushoryu high, works him back. Now, this is sometimes you see Tokushoryu look dangerous as he's being moved back over the bales. Today, not so much.
Yeah, it was a full body hug from Midori. And you're right, Tokushoryu can get away from those. He can. He's got surprising speed for a big guy, but Midori just a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger today. He's been in form, Midori.
Well, he won that Yusho back in July, and since then, he's been on the down.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's not. He's actually not in form.
He's
I think my memories are still of that usually.
yeah.
But since then he went 2-7 and then he was out for 6 days. 8-7. That's
Yep.
okay. He was all right there. And then he was out of January. So where did those good feelings come from? When a Rikishi does well, I like to
Yeah.
capture it in my mind.
You like to lock it in.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
do. And sometimes it overpowers all else. Like we try and be so positive here that sometimes it's a detriment because the positive feelings just sit above everything
Well,
else.
speaking about locking in feelings, Shohozan.
Yes.
He's up next against Midori Fuji. As we
Also,
said,
yes.
Midori Fuji seems to have recaptured some of that good form, going 9-6 last time at Juryo 8. Finds himself at Juryo 6 this time. Would have liked one more spot for him there.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Rediscovered the Katasukashi, as we mentioned before. So will he use it on Shohozan, one of the other oldest guys in sumo. He's 38 years old, very close to my age. Not that close.
Well, closer than Midori Fuji, that's for sure. At 25, it feels like he's been around the block a few times. Coming back from injury that I think was that right ankle from memory, just took the confidence out of that Katasukashi setup phase where he's on the back
He's
foot
back as
moving
well, I
backwards.
think.
And he's
Yeah.
back, yep.
Yeah.
But was
So-
certainly moving more comfortable last time.
Shohozan, we thought that maybe last year in Fukuoka in November was going to be the swan song, that he would show the world that, he was sort of finishing off, that he'd do all right, but he did pretty badly. He went 4-11. I don't know if that was a factor in him continuing on. I don't know if he had have done really well there, that he would have said, let's go out properly. He's a
it's
guy with a
interesting.
sense of humour. You don't always think it because of the expression on his face during most of his bouts, but I feel like I just want to see a sumo retirement smile on this guy's face because I think he's going to be a lot of fun. Imagine him hanging out with the other Oyakata, just playing golf and mucking around
Well, I
and
was
doing
gonna say,
recipes and.
Do we know,
Oh.
is he any good at golf? Or does that matter?
Well, we don't know who's good at golf. That's
No,
the real
that's
question
true.
now, isn't it?
Okay, well then the real question is, will he look good in a golfing outfit?
Yes.
Well, good.
Yes.
That's an interesting thesis you put forward about his poor effort in Kyushu and whether or not a more triumphant score would have seen him bow out.
It's just something that, there was talk around at the time. It's just
Yeah, there
something I
certainly
wonder
was.
now.
But wait, he did not look good. It went 6-9 last time.
Mm-hmm.
Still brings it. Still brings the intensity.
Yeah.
But again, we're not watching from a distance.
Midori Fuji. Can he take this younger guy on? Can he slap him across the face and push him down? Or will he be swung down himself? He's late to go down. Shohozan really staring Midori Fuji down. And why not? Oh, Midori Fuji, he's like, that's enough of that. Thanks, mate.
Stand up, boys.
They go,
Nah,
oh,
come
yeah, we
on,
knew,
come
everyone
on.
knew that wasn't going to happen. The timing just wasn't right. There wasn't mutual consent.
I feel that Midori Fuji needs to respect Shohozan's right to bugger around here.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We know
Yeah.
he's going to do it. Let him do it.
Yeah.
He's
if you
earned that
don't want
right.
him to do it, don't go down so early. He's gone down early again, Midori Fuji. Another stare off, but this time they go. Shohozan tries to get in around Midori Fuji's body. He tries to pull Midori Fuji down, and he does succeed in pulling him to the side, but Midori Fuji doesn't go down, doesn't step across the Toara, and they lock up in the middle. Shohozan has the left arm around Midori Fuji's body, and Midori Fuji has the right arm on Shohozan's belt. Now they're fighting for position. This is interesting. It looks a little bit slippery, but before they can lock up, it's Midori Fuji who initiates and pulls Shohozan down to the ground. Doesn't even need the under-shoulder swing down. He just tugs him straight down.
He's very, very good in those situations when his opponent's leaning in hard, and Shohozan was doing that.
He's an angle guy.
He is an angle guy. He knows how to use momentum. He knows about fulcrums. But that beautiful right-hand belt grip is what manufactured this lovely, lovely win.
He was good at school with those physics puzzles where it's like, this
absolutely.
is on the angle of this and this is coming in at
Yep.
this angle. What's this
The
angle?
Uwate Dashinaga there. And you would say a dictionary, Uwate Dashinaga.
Absolutely, he could pop that in he's already got the dictionary Katasakashi,
Oh.
so now he can have the dictionary Uwatenage as well. Tim, I reckon Shohozan would be good at darts and pool. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I just think he'd be a great guy to go out with. He'd be a great guy to night out in Corey and those guys, you know, let's go out in Texas with Shohozan. That's all I'm saying. He'd be so much fun.
Hearing someone say that Shohozan would be good at darts and pool, I've never agreed with anything more than that statement. Of course he would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he'd buy a round,
What's
you
the-
know, and then you'd buy Shohozan around. The dream.
I think it would be him. I mean, he would insist on buying, I think. We're guests in his
Maybe.
country.
Yeah, maybe. If you bought him around, you'd have to buy him like 10 beers for your everyone.
We I don't have a lot of intel on the pro darts scene in Japan or whether that's a viable
yeah.
career option post sumo, but we could look into that.
Mm-hmm.
We should talk about the next bout. Daiamami up against Nishiki Fuji. They've met 3 times before, and Nishiki Fuji has yet to find a way to beat Daiamami.
I mean, that's surprising because Nishiki Fuji has rediscovered his form. He went 10-5 in September last year, then 5-10. So that's when he just got up a little bit high for his own good at Juryo 4, then went 10-5 again in January. Did he beat Daiamami? Oh, Daiamami was up in Makuuchi, yep.
Yep.
So no.
so
No, but he didn't have a chance.
Daiamami has been very consistent, but consistently posting losing records. It was a year ago to the day that he got his last Kachikoshi, going 9-6 in 2021 at Maegashira 16. Since then, it's been a very gradual downward slide. Well, that's true. From 9-6, he went up to Maegashira 13. And it's been a downhill slide since then. Went 7-8 at Juryo 3 and finds himself at Juryo 5 this time. A very consistent performer. I think he's, one of those Rikishi and Juryo that you need to find a way around if you want to work your way up to the top division.
Yeah, certainly. There's also the Daiamami curse for you. If you say that he's going to go well, he often doesn't. I don't know if I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but my cousin has a curse for the Australian cricket team. So if she watches them, they don't win. And it's really well known throughout the family, so that anytime she posts that she's watching a game, everyone rings her up.
Also, maybe...
tells her not to watch.
No, I'm going to break the curse today. Daiamami will win.
Oh, yep.
Let's break it.
Well, I want
And he's gonna do
Nishiki
well.
Fuji to win,
Well.
so here we go.
Nishiki Fuji down first. Puts his hands down. Daiamami taking his time before dropping his head, putting the shoulder up, but it's Nishiki Fuji who's on the attack. Daiamami resists on the bails. He's found himself gripped on the upper body by Nishiki Fuji, but he's keeping himself well off the bails, keeping himself high while his arms are locked up. And it's Nishiki Fuji who's putting the pressure on, but Daiamami steps aside, hits the upper body, and sends Nishiki Fuji to the ground. Was he a little lucky there?
Yeah, you just turned and shot me daggers like Daiamami, he's won. The curse has been lifted.
Well, that's a good feeling. It's not every day you get to lift a curse.
Well done. Well done. Daiamami, I mean, that was a bit of luck there, I think. Not luck, but it was Nishiki Fuji being caught in a difficult position, but it was a thrust down by Daiamami, and he felt the angle of Nishiki Fuji's body, and he knew that he could get it down.
Tsuki Taoshi win there as we see some erratic camera work from the camera person.
No, from the
From the work experience kid.
yeah. He's like, how do I zoom in again? Whoop, there
Yep.
it is.
Well, up next on the doyo, we have Asanowaka up against Keisho. Asanowaka.
This is a great
Well,
bout.
this
I'm
is
really
a-
looking forward to this.
Would you call this the future of sumo?
Oh, it's part of the future of sumo for sure. Kaisho is not that young, but he's 27, but he is finding his way up the top. I mean, he when he first came into Juryo, he went 11-4. So he absolutely blitzed. He hit hard. And then he's gone 8-7, 5-10, 8-7. So he can certainly match it, but he hasn't shown that surprising form that he did when he first came in.
Asano Waka, of course, the former Terasawa.
Yep.
Since the name change, he's gone 10-5 at Juryo 13.
Got real
and
serious.
9-6 at Juryo 6, and now is fighting at Juryo 4. Look, wasn't supportive of the name change when it came through.
Oh, now you're a big fan, are you?
I'm just
no. I'm guessing.
I'm
A medium fan.
neutral. I just look at the data, and the data says
Good choice.
good choice.
Yeah.
I have no feelings towards sumo. I just look at the numbers, and I try to interpret them. And the numbers say great name change, but I didn't like it at first. But a lot of hype on him, and he seems to be handling it quite well. Kaisho, though, probably the Rikishi who's more used to a little bit of pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, have they fought before? Yeah, and Asano Waka won. So I don't think that means... I mean, Juryo's fluctuating so much at the moment that there's not a lot of people who've fought a whole lot, which is really interesting. It means that every matchup is, they're sort of searching their way, and they're trying to... They might not have even watched any tapes. I don't know. I watched in the NHK World, they had a thing in Arashio Bayer, and they said that Kotokuzan had just started watching his own tapes.
Oh, Jesus.
That it was something that Wakataka Kage and ex-Sokukura, the Oyakata, had introduced, that you actually should watch your bouts back. I'm like, that's incredible.
That's madness.
You have to watch your bouts back.
I mean, we listen to every single podcast episode we do.
Totally.
And analyse it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I did well there. Did terribly there. Here we go. Asano Waka and Kaisho.
Asano Waka down first. Whoa, he's anchored! Kaisho, though, catches it very quickly. But Asano Waka manages to go back on the attack. But Kaisho's now putting pressure on the... Well, they lock up on belt grips. They are mutual. Okay, wow, that was an exciting start. Kaisho now has to... Now that he's been hankered, he really needs to win this one.
I feel like he's in the better position here. He's got a strong left hand, and he's got the angle, possibly.
Yeah. But we do see Asano Waka moving his body, angling it around, make himself hard to move, but definitely has his centre of gravity higher. The Osaka crowd love this. They give a little
Internal
clap.
screaming.
Yeah, internal screaming there. Kaisho just testing out that left-hand grip. He's on the inside, right on the inside of the belt. Explodes here. Yeah, I mean, that plays out the way we would have thought there. As you said, Kaisho with that better position and end up being more powerful in the end.
Bit of blood involved here on Kaisho's body. I can see it dripping down. I don't know if it's from him or maybe Asano Waka's face. But, he's got it splattered on his right arm. But yeah, Kaisho, I think he would have been pretty keen to win that after that move at the touchy-eye. It definitely was a meet-and move, if not a henker.
Well, I think you're being very generous there. Felt like a henker. This is not the sumo we want to see.
Absolutely
from Asano Waka.
not. Absolutely not. Tim's saying that Asano Waka is a serial offender. I mean, you just can't be known as that at this point in Juryo. No. You haven't even made it to Makuuchi yet, and people are already saying, you're hankering too much, you're moving too much at the touchy-eye. Go straight forward. I implore you. Asano Waka.
Well, we take a break. Well, a brief break now, 3 bouts before the end. They've set that microphone up. Despite some very solid technological gains in wireless microphones, they insist on running a very, very long XLR lead out to that microphone there.
One of those really heavy iron-based microphone stands too. Just lug that guy out.
Absolutely.
Pop it up. Here comes Hoshoryu.
Well, very different looking Sanyaku this time around.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. So
now
led by the Yokozuna, Terunofuji.
Let's see how he gets up on the dojo.
Strongly.
Oh.
Taka Keisho had more trouble, but that's because he's tiny. Niozeki, Shinozeki, Mitakeumi really relegated to the edge of the
Yep.
doyo here.
So Taka Keisho's
Keisho,
crowding him.
he's taking up too much room.
Mate,
Mitakeumi can't even spread his legs very
half
wide
a step
here.
to your right.
Just give him a little
Yeah.
elbow.
And it means Mitakeumi has to hang his arms limply
Yeah.
to the side. There's no
Oh,
power there.
disaster
This is no
here.
good.
But we also see Abi. We see Wakataka Kage. And we see, as I called before, Hoshoryu. Very exciting at Komusubi. And Takanosha, I'm sorry that we're not speaking about you so much, but we want you to do better. We want you to get back up there. Shodai.
Shodai,
how's he
keep your head up,
feeling?
mate.
Is the head up?
Well, I
How's
think
that
the eyes
body
are looking
feeling?
down.
Yeah, eyes are down.
Look up. Wakataka Kage sensibly positioned himself half a step to the left
Well,
so the camera doesn't block him
This
out.
is the thing about Takakeisho's position, right? They're told to stagger, I guess, but he staggered too hard.
staggered
Also,
too
he's
hard.
small, so he actually doesn't have to stagger because Abi's standing behind him and Abi's really tall. So
Absolutely.
he needed to move one half step to the right to give Mitakeumi more room. That's disappointing for Mitakeumi's first.
Do they need to rehearse this? Do they need to mark
They
spots?
probably do. No, they'd never rehearse something like this. I feel like sumo, these sort of things are very unrehearsed.
Absolutely. Well, the camera focuses in on the Yokozuna.
The work experience person knows to zoom in on that Yokozuna face. Oh,
Whoop, shaky
doesn't
pan.
know to go to
Shaky
Hakaku.
pan. He's unsure of who's talking, but he's worked it out.
So he's like, Hakaku's like, I'm sorry we gave everyone COVID from Goedo's retirement ceremony. Everything seems okay now, so
He says,
don't
lol,
worry,
no
everyone."
regrets. Do you know, Mitakeumi, I feel as a Shinozeki, everything I've seen and heard from him post the announcement has been positive. I feel like he's enjoying his new position.
Yeah.
Can he translate that onto the
Well,
dojo,
I don't know.
though?
I mean, his eyes were everywhere. Did you see that close up? He is hyper stimulated.
No, yeah, maybe he is. Is that a good or bad thing?
Well, for Mitakeumi, it could be good. He could feed off that energy. But look at everyone else there. Look at Shoto.
Nah, short eye.
But everyone else is just keeping it sumo.
Okay, there we go. The work experience kid working out. We've got a new
Mitakumi's
Ozeki
like,
out
Where's
there.
mum? Where's
Well,
mum?
I do think there is a second camera here back to the guy talking. We must have a second camera here because we are pulling back to this wide shot. But I feel this is a fixed camera position,
Yeah,
whereas they got the work experience kid on the dynamic camera.
yeah. Swinging it around.
I think he's
like when
done
they had
okay
it on
there.
the pole during the Olympics, the golden days for NHK.
Well, let's see if we can read anything into the step off the doyo here.
A few different
Respectful bows.
washi colours here. So Terunofuji's in a light purple.
No, I don't like
Shodai's in a dark brown, is that? And Takakeisho's in a sort of...
Oh, Shoto looks like he wants to be anywhere but here.
Shodai looks short. Is Shodai short?
I think he's the same height he's always been.
Has he got shorter?
Nah. Well, you can do that.
How can you do that?
Well, I think you lose a few centimetres as you age.
Oh. It's a shame.
That's a shame.
Oh no, it's Kaisei next.
Mm.
In my positive spin on things, I think I had forgotten that Kaisei was in Juryo.
Look, I noticed that you hadn't said anything about it, and I didn't want to be the one to raise it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this moment was inevitable. Are you okay?
I'm not okay, actually. Up against Toha Kuryu. I'm not sure of how that's going to go for him because Toha Kuryu is in fairly good form.
35 years old, Kaisei. We haven't seen him down in Juryo since November 2019. Which doesn't feel all that long ago, really.
Kaisei in Juryo, 2019. I feel like every time I look at that, I'm surprised. It's great having my mind because my short-term memory is pretty bad. So I just keep
Everything's
forgetting
brand new.
things. I'm like, wow. Who is everyone in the chat most excited about for Makuuchi in the Sanyaku specifically? Because for me, I think it's definitely Hoshoryu. I just can't wait to see what he's going to do. Wakataka Kage, of course. Shodai, of course I want to know how he's going to go. Takakeisho, absolutely. Mitakeumi, 100%. But Hoshoryu, he's got my eyes.
Absolutely. I think he'll have everyone's eyes as we go into Haru. Tim Sumo has just informed us that they might wear different
No, they don't.
coloured mawashi in the doyo area. If that's
Oh,
true,
would they?
I think we're going to need to go back and check the tapes to confirm that.
Yeah, they might well.
Well, here he is, Kaisei at 35 years old. He has the golden ratio. He's 194 centimetres
Oh, here
tall
we go.
and 194
Oh,
kilograms.
look, here we go. What a day.
He's, over the last few days, been in the steam room, getting himself just
Trying to get
right.
those final few kgs off.
Yep.
Come on, 194, 194.
Look,
That's big. That's big
it
and
sure
big.
is.
Both
it
is
sure
big.
is. Look, Kaisei and Juryo, I think he's going to have a good time here.
Okay. Oh, he's bigger. He's put on weight. Look.
He does look big, but I'm confident that he will retain his mobility. But gee, it's going to be the first time he'll get a look at a lot of the rikishi going around in Juryo.
Yeah, it's probably useful for him. Scott, it's got to be Arby for you. Yeah, I agree,
Gee.
actually. When I was listing those people off, for some reason, I can't keep it in my mind that Arby's in Sanyaku. I mean, that's huge. I think you can read a lot from the little interviews they do for Abema before the basho, and Arby was very cheeky in his, so I think he's got a lot of energy going.
Tim, I completely agree. He's in the kitchen or the steam room, depending on the weight. Or he might be, probably in the
Alternating
last
back
day,
and forth.
probably take a bowl of chunko into the steam room and just stand on the scales.
One more prawn. 2 more prawns. Guys, I
dear.
can't even get down. He can. He's retained the orange. He's had some cupping. I'm a big Kaisei fan. How old is Kaisei now?
He's 35.
35.
Yeah, it's hard to
wow.
believe, isn't it?
He's someone who, when I'm talking about sumo to people who don't understand it and think it's, all only Japan, I often mention, because someone from Brazil is, it's such a story. And,
Absolutely.
it's often something that people outside sumo find
Fear of
interesting.
missing sumo.
You're quiet laughing there.
That just worked on 0 levels.
Fear of
I'm
missing
such
sumo.
an idiot.
FOMS. Here we go, Kaisei up against Tohakuryu. Are we going to see some pulling? Probably. Kaisei down and ready to go. Tohakuryu smashes up against his neck. Does not manage to move Kaisei 1 inch. Kaisei keeps coming forward and absolutely shoves Tohakuryu out over the Tawara and down off the doyo. And then Kaisei style comes right to the edge and offers to help him straight back up. That is peak, beautiful Kaisei. Care for his fellow man always. Premium, but doesn't mind a shove off the doyo and a win on day 1.
What a great way for him to start. Looked quite good, moved forward. I mean, you'd say he dominated this one, really. Despite some nice attacks from Tohakuryu that hit the throat, he was able just to keep balance as he moved forward.
I think it was good from Kaisei to keep moving forward there, because otherwise Tohakuryu is often looking for the pull, and he could have got him on an angle there, moved back quickly and pulled him down, but Kaisei stepped forward and just stayed up against Tohakuryu's body, and that was that. That's the start of his return to Makuuchi. I'll call it.
I think you're right about that. That's very safe to
Oh,
say.
look at it is.
We are up to the second last bout of Juryo. Azumaru up against Hidenoumi. What a welcome return. How's he only Juryo 2?
He was only out for 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Let me have a little check, because honestly,
Was it 1?
January has gone into the...
Well, no, that's right, because he was
Dungeon.
mid-Makuuchi.
Yeah, so
maybe
he went
lower mid.
8-7 at Maegashira 9 in November, did a spot of gambling on the side, and was out for January. They decided not to, if you haven't listened to our pre-Basho episode, number 1, why not? Number 2, he didn't get prosecuted So he is back.
It was an open and shut case. He was not gambling on sumo.
Yeah, we don't know that. Allegedly.
If you put a few dollars
That
on the
was just
table,
Pachinko or something, wasn't it?
I think it was him and Sokokurai having a competition.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. I will scold you there. Absolutely.
Anyway, the
do
good
not
news
say that.
is the boy in brown.
Yep,
he's
he's
back.
back.
And he will have a great time here at Juryo too. I think much like us having January off, he's going to come back in even better form.
He looks cheeky. He's like,
He's
I
like,
done a
hey,
bad.
I did
Like a
bad.
kindergartner who took a poop in the corner, and it's just like, I'm back.
And I do appreciate Abema just putting his November stats up like January didn't happen. It's great stuff. I feel you, Abema. Well done. Let's focus on the things he did do, not the things he didn't do, which was illegal gambling. We should talk about Azumariu. He went 9-6 last time. At Juryo 5, quite a good performance. Sees himself at Juryo 2 and again knocking on the door of Makuuchi. It's been quite a while since we've seen him up there, though. It was back in March 2020.
We've had a prediction for the Juryo Yusho from Tim. It's Hidenomi versus Ryuden.
Oh,
It could be.
dream matchup. I think it could be. Where does Kaisei fit into that mix, though?
Three-way playoff.
Three-way.
Four-way with maybe Midori Fuji. I'd like him up there. He's not high enough, though.
Well, if there's one thing we can say confidently about Juryo, they don't mind a playoff.
Yeah, that's right. Remember the seven-way playoff?
Yeah, that was so good.
Was that the one that Meisei eventually won?
I think it was. Yeah,
I think
it was
so, where they had to draw the straws.
so random. All right, well, here we see the slow pan backwards. The work experience kid really coming to terms with how you need to frame a touchy eye. Inui down first. Gets in underneath Azumariu, works him back to the bales. Azumariu resists as much as he can on the Tawara, but Hidenomi finishes him off. A definitive win on day one.
He's got a nice bandage on his right arm, Hidenomi. It's the, traditional bandage colour, bandage beige. But underneath he's got a colour that looks like that's the same colour as his Mawashi.
Huh.
That looks nice, doesn't
I
it?
don't mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fashion bandages.
Fashion bandage.
Should do it on his knee as well. Well, that was pretty straightforward from
Wasn't
Hidenomi.
it?
He got lower, which is
Good.
pretty easy with Azumariu because he's about 1,000,000 feet tall.
Well, interestingly, you were mentioning in Juryo before, a lot of these Rikishi haven't fought each other that much. With that win, Hidenomi evens the ledger against Azumariu. They're 11-11 now against each other.
So that's one example where they have fought a lot. I said before that there are not a lot. There are a lot of first-time matchups in Juryo this time around. Atami Fuji, obviously, Hakuyozan, Ryuden, Shimazumi. They're all first-time matchups. Kaisei and Toha Kuryu, because Kaisei hasn't been down. But Azumariu, Hidenomi, 11-11.
Yeah. Well, this is our final bout of Juryo.
It is Oho up against Tsurugisho. How's everyone feeling about Tsurugisho? Any love in the house for this guy?
Well, let's talk briefly
I know,
about Oho.
Why would I go straight for Tsurugisho?
So the
Fair
22-year-old,
call.
he went 7-8 at Maegashira 18, but more of a concern is that he dropped the last 5 days.
Yep.
So he got to
Yep.
7 wins and just stalled out. It was very, very
That was
hard to
actually
watch.
devastating, wasn't it?
It really was, but I think, being someone so young, it would have been an invaluable experience. We'll see him back, but where's his head at coming into this basho?
I feel like he would have been lambasted for that. Or would he have been treated with care? I mean, that would have been difficult. Would that have been a natural progression in his career? Like everyone goes through that. You couldn't get it.
So.
Let's now mount a comeback. Or would it have been absolute
So
Piece of work. Why couldn't you get that final win?
In those
How
last-
was he treated?
in those last 5 days, he lost to Korokuzan as the Juryo visitor, Chiyomaru, Ishiura, Aqua, and Sadanumi.
Okay, all who did pretty well. Let me look
Well,
at
no,
that list again.
Aqua
So
went 4-11.
Kodokuzan went up to Makuuchi this time
Yep.
around, so he was doing well. Yeah, Chiyomaru. Chiyomaru is the problem there. Ishiro has gone on to his highest rank. Aqua he probably could have beaten as well. Sadanumi did all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some... Yeah. He definitely should have got that win in those days.
Yeah. Very, very hard psychologically as a young Rikishi, I would imagine.
Go through it early, though. If
Yeah.
this is one of the hardest... If that was one of the hardest things so far that he's experienced... I mean, his first rise to Juryo was really hard as well when he went 5'10".
But
He's been through that.
But the encouraging thing, look at on the screen at the moment, were Oho's winning techniques. A great spread of technique in those 7 wins.
Yeah, he can do a lot of things.
He just
can
needs
do
to do
a lot of things. That is some great sumo coverage there.
Yep.
He can do a lot of things.
He just
Oho.
needs to do more of the winning things.
Yeah, the winning things. Hi, Annie. That's Scott's wife. Happy that we're back calling Juryo. That is so nice. Big shout out to Annie.
Oh, hey Annie, how you going?
Thank you.
Tim, Sumo, I completely agree. I think Oho, the adjustment to 15 days, it's a real thing. I mean, initially, we jumped straight into doing 15 days of coverage, and we found it very, very hard. And we still do, to be honest. So I definitely can sympathise.
Yeah, I think coverage of sumo at a Makushita level is more more doable. The 7 days, or the car park sumo, the Mayazumo 3 days.
Oh, you just turn up the 3 days you remember it's on. I like that idea.
That's not 3. That's 3 fights. I know that. Don't worry. 3 fights on 1 day, but I think 3 days sounds cool. Oh, is he going to do it? He's the last bout of Juryo. The pressure is on him again. The pressure is always on him. He's up against a very experienced fighter in Tsurugisho, who is keen for a first day win, and they go. Tsurugisho tries a right-hand slap but doesn't get it. Oho pushes forward and he pushes Tsurugisho down, but as Tsurugisho falls, Oho falls as well, but I think you'll
that's a
find
clean
Tsurugisho's
Yoritaoshi.
fallen first. Yep.
The boys in black around the side are happy with that one.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. This is the kind of sumo you want to see from Oho, I think. He's a pusher thruster. Great movement forward. He's got himself... it was Oshitaoshi. I'm sorry. Yeah, very, very solid sumo to start. Well, that was the last bout of Juryo.
It was, and it was a good one.
Wow,
to
it was
see,
a
to
classic.
finish off with. Seen some great sumo on day one of Harubasho in Osaka. No doubt everyone wishes that they were there like us, but the second best thing is surely being all together for a stream of Juryo. Thank you so much for coming and listening. The big boys are entering the stadium. We can see,
Nishikigi.
Nishikigi's
What are you
back.
doing there?
Good
Great
boy.
to see.
Aqua scraped in. Kageyaki's back.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
feels
I
like
could
it's
just
2019 all over again. I love it. It's a sense of optimism seeing Kageyaki go up first, Nishikigi.
I am loving seeing Nishikigi back. Koroeko, are we going to be able to hear the song? Shimano Umi moved half a rank down after going 5'10". Tobizaru, all the great guys we know and love. We will leave you here. Thank you so much for being with us for Juryo. We'll be back next Sunday. And until then, we'll be doing the podcast every day. So thanks, legends. You're all champs.
We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.